Mr. Masselroy stood in the Jade Treasure Room surrounded by what remained of his dream team. He had just been forced to slap his chief security officer for incompetence. There would be no limit to his wrath for insubordination. He looked at Charles, the cheesehead's eyes, for even the faintest glimmer of anger or resentment, a sign that he had the spine to be a threat to him. The man did not meet his gaze. As Mr. Masselroy expected, a beaten horse stood before him, the best kind.
I suggest you go find him immediately and bring him to me alive.
Our guy or Silva?
You actually think I care which loose end you clean up first? Did the girl survive the fall from the waterfall is my question, but you needn't worry about that. I brought the best hunter in the world for this exact purpose. Frenchie, get over here!
Charlie the cheesehead leaves the room like a dog with its tail between its legs. Masselroy liked to imagine he was cursing the day he ever agreed to work for him when he was like this.
Frenchie, I have a new assignment for you.
Understood, Mr. Masselroy. I'm ready.
Mr. Masselroy wasn't wrong. Frenchie moved towards Masselroy, smiling with glee as he received his assignment.
I can't keep doing this. I need to find a way out.
Siskatua rose from the water, breathing heavily. She had swum as far away from the cliff as she could. The current seemed to be getting stronger, and she knew there were probably more drops and hazards further downstream. She decided to get out of the water and push toward the shore. The problem was, despite her efforts, she was being pulled in the opposite direction. She relaxed and went with it, looking for an opportunity to escape. That is when she was pulled under the water. As she went under, she could think only of Ricardo. Was he okay?
What have I done? This wasn't supposed to happen.
Ricardo Silva looked down at the blood-covered knife in his hand. This was all he had to defend himself from an entire team of professionals and Masselroy. The blood on the knife was neither his, nor did the knife inflict the wound. A man he did not know was most likely deceased because of his actions. Ricardo mulled it over in his head, realizing exactly what that meant for him. He knew he didn't really have a choice, but watching that man gasping and pinned to the cave like that was truly grotesque. He had considered putting him out of his misery when he picked the blade from the cave floor. However, Ricardo hesitated. He thought that maybe the guy had a shot at surviving. He didn't wait to see if help was coming, though. The man he had encountered most definitely wouldn't have given the Silver Stacker Extraordinaire any consideration by Ricardo's estimation.
He continued down the path until he found his spot. Soon he would make his way back to the village, back to his Siska. He just knew she would be there, and doing fine. In the meantime, he decided his best chance to get out of this cave system was to climb. He went into his bag and pulled his silk rope and climbing gear. He would avoid the valley altogether, assuming that light at the top of the cavern was indeed a way out.
Curse it all. This cave is a nightmare.
Charlie the cheesehead cursed aloud as he traveled through the cave. That is, until he happened to hear a pebble drop next to him. It was fortuitous that he looked up when he did, as a boulder narrowly missed his head as he dodged it. What was more amazing was the source of the dangerous debris. 100 feet above his head was a shadow barely perceivable thanks to the twinkle of light at the top of the large cavern he had entered. It was Ricardo Silva, he was sure of it. He pulled out his pistol as he picked himself up from the ground. His first shot clipped Ricardo's right shoulder.
Ah!
Ricardo grunted as the bullets ripped his skin. He swung towards the hole in the cave wall. That is when Charlie's second and more precise shot hit his rope and frayed it. Had Ricardo not been in mid-swing, he would surely have fallen to his death as the rope ends severed. Instead, the momentum carried him out the gap in the cave wall. He found himself on the outside Tian Kung. He could see the river. He ran towards the side that he remembered to be the least steep, the side that Siska most likely was headed down. He went into his backpack and bandaged the spot on his arm the bullet had grazed. Charlie the cheesehead cursed again as he had to get his climbing gear out. Shooting that rope was not his aim. He was aiming at what he thought was Ricardo's silly head and that absurd hat. He cussed under his breath as he began to climb the cave wall.
I hate this job.
Frenchie hopped down the cliff face with ease as though he were playing hopscotch. He soon found what he was looking for, footprints, wetness dripping on what should have been dry foliage. He was close. He could feel it. As he dipped around a corner in the trail, he narrowly dodged a makeshift cudgel made of a cork oak branch aimed at his temple. He found a woman at the other end of that weapon. Frenchie smiled as he realized what had happened. She had gotten the drop on him, the tracker. Had she been a man, the club would likely have struck him, but her short arms made avoiding her blows all too easy for the expert combatant. He assumed his battle stance. Eventually, as they danced, he trapped her weapon under his arm and quickly disarmed her. She, to her credit, was wise enough to disengage. What made her even more clever was the sand she simultaneously threw into his face. She scurried off, taking advantage of his temporary blindness. This was going to be more fun than even he imagined. He set off to capture Siska Tua.
I love my work.